Hard. I love the maid in the movie. It was kind of silly how she goes,
Did Mr. McClane call?
No, Mrs. Holly. No telefono.
oh. Probably the greatest bad guy fall ever is Hans' fall at the end and his look as he's falling. It's just, I think it's got to be the best bad guy fall of all time, right next to Scar from The Lion King. Christmas movie, question mark? Welcome to the list. This is a show where we like to pluck out a name out of our all-time watch list, watch it, and review for review and pleasure. And the movie we're scratching off the list today is a 1988 all-time action Christmas movie, question mark? Die Hard! A New York City police officer tries to save his estranged wife and several others taken hostage by terrorists during a Christmas party at a Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles.
Remember, they were not terrorists.
According to them. And then also in the German version, they're not German either.
What?
They were actually Eastern European. Well, in Germany, the bad guys are not going to be German, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
This is one that I actually had seen, but I only seen it once, and it wasn't too long ago, actually.
This is also my second viewing, actually.
And the ongoing question for this movie is it a Christmas movie?
No, I think it's a Christmas feeling movie because all that happens during Christmas time, doesn't it?
Yes, but what is a Christmas movie? Does it have to talk about Christmas?
No, I think something that happens during the Christmas season. I would imagine that's a Christmas movie because also Batman, I feel, is kind of a Christmas movie. The Batman Returns.
I feel that feels way more like a stretch. I've never heard that argument, but it could be. It has a Christmas feeling, definitely. I'm going to say it does.
Mm-hmm.
But Bruce Willis himself says no.
Oh, man.
And the movie was released July 15th, 1988.
Pito.
So does the release date the one that dictates whether or not it's a Christmas movie?
In my mind, it is. It feels like a Christmas movie. It walks, talks, and acts like a Christmas movie. But it was in July.
And it was still successful, which I'm going to get to later. So the Christmas factor isn't as big, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It could have been Christmas, it could have not been Christmas. That doesn't sway the ultimate outcome of this movie. But of course, this is a conversation, so let us know what you think down in the comments. But let's actually take a look at La Jungla de Cristal.
What?
Yes, you heard me.
No, boss, that's his name? Not in English, in Spanish?
For us, they translated it properly, Duro de Matar.
Yeah.
But in Spain, it's translated to the crystal jungle. I think that the crystal comes with the building and it's a jungle within the crystal. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
The Spanish have some very strange naming conventions for movies.
Yeah, they make it even complicated for us.
Yeah.
The Mexicans. But speaking of Mexicans, I love the maid in the movie. Shout out to Miss Paula. It was kind of silly how she goes,
Did Mr. McClane call?
No, Mrs. Holly. No telefono.
Oh,
she speaks perfect English the whole after that, but I don't know why she felt the need to be like, no teléfono.
oh, there's problems in paradise. Then you get into the thing and it's like, oh, she's not McClane. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, they definitely tell the couple's backstory very quickly. Like, what the hell's going on? They're separated. He's in New York. She moved to Cali for work. And it's done during casual conversations. And then there's like an argument in the hotel room.
Not a hotel room.
Oh, that's right. If it looked like a hotel room, it was
but
somebody's damn office. But it was so like told properly that it didn't drag whatsoever. It was all very tight. McClane definitely seems like the very I don't want to say anti because he didn't come off like that, but he was like opposite Cali guy, very much like the tough guy New Yorker without like the super heavy accent.
Hold on. So California men are not badass?
In the eyes of New Yorkers, I don't think they are. And that's kind of like the stance that McClane had carried himself throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. And even his workplace was kind of looking at him like that too. Like when the pregnant lady walks in and she's like staring at his gigantic scar over the shoulder.
Oh, see, I was like, what the fuck are you looking at, woman?
I know, you're the one with the giant belly. Back off. Did you recognize the coked up douchebag?
No, who was he?
He keeps popping up ever since we mentioned him. He's the hunk in Supergirl.
No way.
Yes.
No.
Keeps popping up. Shout outs to Hart Bachner. that also tough guy look works so well with Willis because he also looks regular. You feel me?
Yeah, he's a Joe Schmo.
If he was probably one of the other ones that they had in mind for the movie had a different tone. So possible McClanes were Sly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Arnie.
See?
Burt Reynolds.
Damn.
Harrison Ford.
I don't like it.
Don Johnson. And Richard Gere.
Oh, no. That.
That's the one that everybody's like, ew, no.
Of course, no. What kind of...
They all turned it down. So they looked at Willis, who was starting at the sitcom Moonlighting, but he was such not a huge star yet that they didn't even want to use him in the poster. The Nakatomi building takes a more prominent position in the poster than he does. So once the movie starts to take off, they change the poster to feature a more prominent Willis in the poster. We did this with Hannibal Lecter.
Uh-huh.
Is Hans Gruber a top villain name?
Yes. Hans. That's like the best building block. Whatever you can put after Hans is golden. But Gruber is just, it sounds kind of a goober.
Yeah.
But you see the person the name is attached to and you say, oh, he's pretty much a dick.
That's what I was going to ask you. How much is that because it's tied to Rickman and how much is the name alone?
I think the name is like 30% and Rickman's performance is the 70%.
That makes, yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. Yeah. So this was Rickman's first featured film.
What?
At a young age, at 42, he would have been a stage actor and he would take a lot of TV roles up until then. I thought it was more like a Snape thing, but it's just the way Rickman talks, I guess.
Yes, his cadence and his type of voice is kind of slimy.
As much as he's fantastic, I did notice that he would come in and out of the accent.
His
of that.
accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Doesn't take anything away from his performance. He's still scary and a son bitch. But yeah, I didn't notice that.
And he's not big. He's not burly. He's not overtly evil. He's just doing a job.
Yeah, he's just a very smart dude. On set, even though they were supposed to be German, the German they were speaking was mainly gibberish.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this was fixed once it came out on VHS and it was dubbed with actual German. That crazy tech dude was funny too.
He was not your run-of-the-mill nerd. He was
Those are the most fun characters.
Yeah.
He showed a lot of personality though. He could have just been like a nerd, but no, he was more like, he's got that one line.
Oh my God, the quarterback is toast.
Oh, see, he had a lot of sass for a nerd.
Hell yeah. I feel like movies don't do this anymore, man. They don't do subtleties that carry throughout the movie. Like from the very beginning, the guy on the plane tells McClane about the shoes.
After you get where you're going, take off your shoes and your socks. Then you walk around on the rug barefoot and make fists with your toes.
But he takes his feet off. He takes his shoes off.
He was a cyborg?
Yeah. He takes his shoes off and does what the guy on the plane tells him to do. And this carries out throughout the movie. That's a very important part of the movie. The fact that he's running around barefoot throughout the whole movie.
It was hilarious the fact that he was caught with his shoes off. So unaware, he just had to improvise the whole way through.
Well, he saw his wife with a gun pointing at his face. He's like, I'm not going to go over there and do 2 bunny ears to tie my shoes. I just got to go.
He was like just relaxing. He was doing the thing with his feet and the rug and whatever. Boom, it happens, goes down. He looks straight at what's happening. He books it. He just does not think. Instinct starts kicking in.
Yeah.
And that's how he carries himself throughout the film, to the point where they use that against him.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Because it's obvious. He's running around barefoot. Let's just shoot the glass.
And take the glass off. I was like, oh my God, because I've had glass in my feet.
Okay.
And it's painful.
It was even more gruesome because there was a sound effect when he takes the glass off his foot.
My God.
But the producers felt it was a little bit too much, so they actually took it out. It's still effective as hell to see just the gallons of blood pouring out of his feet. And again, it plays such a part, not only because it's like, oh, he's got to run through glass, but it's also impactful. If he had shoes on, him trying to kick the glass when he's outside would have been different than seeing a giant footprint of blood as he's kicking it. Like, so everything he does, he's leaving a trail, which why didn't the bad guys just follow the blood? But I guess it's blood all over, so it mixes. But yeah, it's just very impactful off of one guy's stupid comment of scrunching your feet on a rug.
although he is the hero, he gets mangled.
Yeah, that goes back to him being like a normal guy again, because if it's Arnold, you never really see Arnold all messed up. I don't really remember, because even if he is, it doesn't come off like that. Same with Stallone in all the Rambo movies. As messed up as he can get, they don't look it because it's still a big buff guy.
And he's not a detective. He's just a cop. He says it. I am just a cop.
He has to take a dive into an elevator shaft, which that whole thing is fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Him diving and missing the shaft and falling down. That was actually not what's oh, that bolt ruined my take. That actually wasn't supposed to happen, but the stunt guy fell on the first try.
Holy.
So they adjusted it to fit the movie to use that first take, which also looks kind of cool and also plays to I'm just a regular guy, because everybody else would have made it the first try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I don't know how believable it is for one guy to take or professionals, quote unquote, on, but you believe it.
If they don't see you coming.
Yeah, if they don't see it coming, it's going to work. I think that's the most important thing, that you believe it.
It does eventually find himself in the vent, where we see one of the most iconic moments when he's in the vent and he says that line.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together. Have a few laughs.
And that line was actually written on the spot and fed to Willis through a cell phone.
Neta?
Yeah, so a lot of the movie was kind of like that. They were coming up with things on the spot. And that's kind of cool for like also not only an actor, but the crew to like live in that sort of improv world, to just like, hey, come up with that. Maybe I'm just spitballing. I don't know. I didn't work there. But
and just ad-lib it?
Ad-lib it a little. That would have been cool. But I really don't get why it's so iconic. He's just stuck in the vent. And it's like less than 20 seconds where he's in there and he has a little scene. He turns the light on to see where he's going and he keeps crawling. But every time you say Die Hard, you think of the vent. I don't understand why it's iconic, but I'm not denying that it is iconic.
Well, for me, I think it's because he's like kicking himself in the ass just because, why didn't I go to the house or whatever?
Oh, it's a point of reflection.
Yeah.
So one of the altercations leads to the line of the movie. The other one might have been the scene of the movie, but this is definitely the line of the movie.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Apparently he says it in all 5 Die Hard movies.
Yeah, the 4th one, I think they cut it out because that was supposed to be like a PG-13. So he says yippee-ki-yay, but when he's gonna say mother, he gets cut off.
Maybe not the motherfucker, but the other parties.
Yeah.
And Willis claimed it was like a throwaway line.
And that's my God.
Even though it's awesome that they do that, it's also kind of like giving directors reason to have like 45 takes of the same thing over and over again, because you never know what's gonna happen, you know? It's still nonetheless an all-time line.
I think the only part of this movie I thought cringy was when Alan Rickman said it.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
When he said it in his accent and his tone of voice, it was like, ugh, icky.
That's kind of the point, because John McClane is so cool. You're like, yeah, say it, good guy. And the bad guy says, you're like, ew, no, don't use my thing.
Exactly. It's cringy, but I'm so glad that it's in the movie.
I think there's a kill count of between 20 and 22 guys that he gets. That building was actually the Fox building back in the day that they were actually starting construction with, so all that was kind of real. They added up more stuff to do whatever they needed to do. What's funny is that Fox charged themselves for the usage of the building. They spent $130,000 in glass.
But adjusting it for inflation, that must be too much money.
That's a lot of glass, but if you look back at how much glass is used, it makes sense. They use all these different types of glass for the scenario when they're shooting at him, when he needs to step on it, or when they throw a guy through the glass. They use a bunch of different kinds of glass that need a different kind of treatment. $130,000 in glass seemed like a lot.
It's still a lot.
He's going to be stepping on it. He's going to be running through it. And Willis was actually wearing rubber shoes in the shape of a feet to be able to run over the glass. So he wasn't actually stepping on it himself.
But that is hilarious. Just harkens me back to people wearing Hobbit feet.
I was thinking about Hobbit feet too. So it's also brilliant that they never actually like look at each other until a very specific point in the movie. John eventually finds Hans wandering around, and he starts to disguise himself as another hostage, which it's a brilliant play by Hans, and the performance of Rickman definitely helps. This is not something that they had written, but they heard Rickman speak in an American accent, so they just decided to do it on the spot.
Oh my God, I love it. I love this. I love this.
And it wasn't even rehearsed. It was acted out on the spot.
Goes to show the caliber of people that are working on this movie.
It adds so much tension with like not a whole lot going on. They're just talking, but you know that at any moment Hans could like flip his and try to shoot him or whatever.
When McClane was speaking to Gruber, even though he did not know he was the mastermind, he did not let details go. So for example, easily he could have said to one, if he was a hostage, in my mind, I was like, oh, so you're a good guy. Oh my God. Why are you here? Oh, because of my wife. No, he was like, oh no, I just got wrongfully invited.
It's because he knew it was Gruber the whole time.
Oh,
it wasn't stated in the movie at all, but later, according to DeSosa, the writer of the movie, said that McClane checks out Gruber's watch and he notices that it's the same make he has already seen throughout the whole movie on the other terrorists.
Oh.
And it's the watch that gives the clue to McClane that it's actually not Bill Clay, and it's really Hans Gruber in front of him.
Oh.
I wish that there was like a little shot on the watch or something, because us, the audience, don't really put that together.
No.
And he's standing next to a giant board with names, and I was waiting for him to say a wrong name, for McClane to be like, that's not the right name, you messed up. But no, he says the correct name, Bill Clay. I'm like, well, then how the hell did you figure that out? And it was because of the watch.
Oh, well, that would have been a little bit more interesting to see happen through the movie.
I agree, because it left me feeling like a pendejo. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad that it wasn't spoon-fed to us.
You could do it subtly when he shoots him in
well,
the
he
head.
does. He does. You do see only his arm, so maybe the watch is on that scene.
You could have just like, boom, a small glimpse.
But Willis actually does some great acting when he's like talking to Al, his buddy, the Twinkie cop guy,
Mr. Winslow from Family Whatevers with our Steve Urkel.
Family Matters, yes.
Esa madre.
When he's giving the message to his wife and he's crying, I was like, yo, what the heck? Willis acting his ass off right here. What's going on?
That felt profound because that's a man with pride stripping that away to admit his faults.
Yeah, he's like, everything we've been arguing about is bullshit. Like, it don't matter. Like, what am I doing? Like, regret almost to it too. The piece of shit reporter harassing Paula in the house, that was like a very dick move, but that also plays a gigantic part in the movie.
Yep.
Because that's how Gruber finds out she's connected to McClane and who he is and all that. Everybody at the end has like a happy ending, especially the mom.
I don't know why in my head I thought she was going to say, well, you came into my house and talked to me. No. You just watch him and punch him in the face.
Probably the greatest bad guy fall ever is Hans' fall at the end, and his look as he's falling. It's just, I think it's got to be the best bad guy fall of all time, right next to Scar from The Lion King.
Yeah, I would imagine. No, I think it's this and then Lion King.
It could be 1A, 1B. It's just the way that, well, I don't want to get into Lion King, but to achieve that effect, Rickman was actually dropped in real life 20 feet above air, and he was told, we're going to drop you on 3, and they dropped them on 2.
You bastards.
Which achieved that perfect look of like, holy shit, because he wasn't prepared for it. You could see it was unexpected, you know?
Yeah. Nowadays,
and even before this, everything is so scripted that reaction, you won't get that reaction. You would get her like a you as he's falling kind of thing. Rickman was more like, la verga, I'm gonna die.
I really felt his fear.
Well, the crew had a sneaky suspicion as well, so this was actually the very last scene they filmed of Rickman in case he got pissed. He's willing to give everything for the part, and a lot of actors are.
When he was in Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe called him to see some stuff with him, and he went to Daniel from his holiday just to speak with him about some scenes or whatever. That's the type of actor Rickman was.
That feels more like a mentor role, that he's like, I'm going to help this kid. You know, not only because I've known him since he was 10 years old, but also whatever he needs, you know, I'm going to be there. So that just seems like the kind of guy Richter was.
Richter?
Puta madre. It was perfect until I fucked up the name. Yeah, Oliver.
Rickman.
Who the fuck is Richter?
Castlevania.
Oh, feeling like a pendejo? But like I said, everything has a happy ending, you know, like the reporter gets a punch in the face, Powell gets over the trauma of shooting, so it all comes pretty nicely at the end. There's no loose ends in that regard, and I enjoy that.
Even Argyle.
Argyle is happy as a mug too, yeah.
Of course I'm still coming by later.
I love that Argyle got to do something.
He was down for it too. It was his first day. He was like, I'm about to just run over this damn ambulance. I don't care.
And he punched the nerd in the face. I was like, damn, Argyle.
So yeah, this movie is actually based on the Nothing Lasts Forever book. So this movie is technically a sequel because the book is the second book in the series. The John McClane character is actually named Joseph Leland, and he's a retired cop. And instead of visiting his wife in the building, he's visiting his daughter. This is in the second book. So the first book, The Detective, was actually made into a movie starring Frank Sinatra playing Leland.
Wow.
So when they set out to make Die Hard, 20th Century Fox was actually contractually obligated to offer the role to Sinatra first. At this point, Sinatra was in his 70s, so he declined.
Of course he's going to decline.
But that would have been a whole different movie, though.
After looking at what Bruce Willis was put through, of course.
Also, in the very early thoughts of this movie, it was also supposed to be a sequel again to Commando that came out 2 years before.
Neta Commando?
Yes, where the character John Matrix, played by Arnie, was supposed to be trapped in a skyscraper fighting bad guys. But that was scrapped and it just made into its own movie.
Thank God it was scrapped.
So whether you think it's a Christmas movie or not, I think it's a fantastic all-time action movie for sure. If you haven't, it's definitely a must watch. I don't know about the rest of the series, depending how this video performs. We'll do the rest. It might be a yearly Christmas thing. I don't know. It all depends up to you. What definitely is a Christmas movie is Jingle All the Way, starring Arnie, which we've done for the list, and I'll leave for you guys right over here. Thank you guys for watching. And remember to always and forever, you do you.
Bye.